good to see Stephen Westman back, our curious townie from Local IQ Magazine. How you been?
I feel like I've been gone too long.
I know.
We took the hiatus, and then I couldn't be here last Monday.
Yeah.
I heard that Justin. I actually watched Justin.
Did you see the video?
It was fun.
He was you. He was trying to be you.
I told him he wasn't totally me though, so that kind of gave me a little bit of glee. I'm actually filling in for him on the night, so we will see how I can up what he did on me.
Well, first of all, you can't wear socks.
I know.
He never wears socks.
Oh, believe me, I already have the outfit.
Okay,
planned.
good.
Watch out, Justin.
But I actually, last Monday, I had friends in from San Francisco. One of them is become one of the more famous modern day opera composers named Jay Kagi. So we did a lot of opera. He performed a concert at the Scottish Rite Temple on Sunday. But Monday, when I was supposed to be here, I needed to introduce him to some of the New Mexico landscape. And we drove up to Abiquiu and to Ghost Ranch. And as much as we love the landscape, when you take somebody else there and you watch them kind of envelop it and fall in love with it and their reaction, it's a whole new little sense of elation. I love that. And it's part of the good thing of a road trip. And as a passenger, which I'm usually not, I saw more stuff than I usually see.
Yeah.
So.
If you're driving, you don't quite catch everything.
You don't.
Right.
And I am a slow driver and I'll pull off on the side of the road. So northern New Mexico was great. But it made me more excited to come down today and talk about going a little bit further south down to TRC.
Good.
Do either of you spend any time down there?
I've been there.
I've played golf in Elephant Butte
Right.
at the golf course there, which is terrific.
Right.
But honestly, I have not.
When there was water, I went boating.
It's an interesting destination. It's a town all on its own, and I think so many people just stop there for gas on their way to Las Cruces, or they stop there for sundries on their way to Elephant Butte. But a few years ago, a friend decided he wanted to do his birthday down in TRC as a quirk. And within a day and a half, I really, really became so enamored with so much of the city. What you've got downtown is Main Street and Broadway, and it is plucked around with really cool galleries, some great places to shop, really wonderful places to eat, and you know very well that I love a motor court that's been revamped, and there's several of them there. So,
what I think is really funny is a lot of people don't know why it's named Truth or Consequences.
The city has been around for a long time. It became known as because of the thermal springs. It really became known as a place to go and heal, and Carrie Tingley Hospital started in TRC before it came up here. So it was a healing place. In 1950, Ralph Edwards, who had the talk show Truth or Consequences, they did a contest and said, if a town takes on our name, they give you this amount of this, and they promote you. And thank God it wasn't the Newlywed Game, because we'd be going into the Newlywed Game New Mexico. But, it's why it's Truth or Consequences instead of Hot Springs, which it used to be.
Yeah.
It's quirky. The town's quirky.
And
fun,
Ralph Edwards
cool.
in his life came every year
Right.
to honor the town as long as he could. He passed away a few years ago.
But it is still a Memorial Day weekend down there. Ralph Edwards weekend is such a fun time to go down because the park is full of live music, great local artists that you don't usually see, and there's so many places to stay. There are several of those old hot springs motor lodges that have been redone, mostly the Blackstone, which I'll talk about a little bit, but it's fun. It's a good spot.
So Labor Day weekend might be the weekend to go.
Labor Day weekend is a good weekend to go. I'd be going down if I didn't have a 30-year reunion of my fraternity pledge class this weekend. But there's a thing called the Salt of the Earth Tour that John Hendry is doing down there. It's like multi-city, but he's got specific things going on in TRC at a place called the Grape Gallery. So it's like spoken word, music, dance, all that stuff, and a good little reason to go down there.
Okay, we got some photos.
I'm happy
photo
to point
essay
them
here.
out. So,
All right.
Okay, what are we going to see?
We probably have a roadside coming up because I love my historic roadside signs.
Here it is.
There you go. You got to pull over and look at these as you're driving down the road. They're iconic, I think. But the next place we've got showing up is the Blackstone Hot Spring, which is located right downtown off a side street. And these guys, Rob and Ralph, in 2008, they probably bought it in 2007, but what they did was they revamped an old motor lodge. All those motor lodges had hot spring tubs in them and showers. So when you checked into your room, you had like either a shower or a tub where you could soak. And what they've done here is they've revamped it into this fun and funky and fresh place. Each room has a theme to it. So like there's a Jetsons room and there's a Twilight Zone
Oh my
room.
gosh.
There's a photo of the one room I haven't stayed in, which is the Roy Rogers room, which I have an affinity for because my dad's parents knew Roy Rogers from Apple Valley, California, and I met him several times growing up. So my plan is to find a weekend when that room is available and go back down.
That's a nice looking room.
Now I kind of just want to go for the Jetsons room. That sounds really cool.
It's fun. I mean, seriously fun. They have the nicest staff. Rob and Ralph, who built the place, couldn't be any nicer. It is one of the things you find when you go down to TRC. You can wander in and out the street, in and out of the shops. And I don't know if it's because I travel alone or what, but smaller towns, I always end up coming home and making some really good friends. And I've made some really nice friends down there. There's, I think, one of our best Italian restaurants in the state there called Bella Luca.
We have a plate of food to show you from Bella Luca.
Eggplant Parmesan is my favorite.
That looks
And since
delicious.
Mamma Mia's is no longer in Albuquerque, I would drive 2.5 hours every weekend if I could eat that every time I was down there.
Oh yeah.
It's really, truly some of the best Italian food. There's other great places to eat. Los Arcos Steakhouse.
Los Arcos, I've eaten there.
Yeah, you know, and that's Bobby Middleton and Earl Whittemore who really started the fire station at one point. And you know, it is a good old steakhouse, and if you want a well-poured martini, that's where you pop
and a
into.
good thick steak.
That's
the place. But lots of funky little cafes.
Yeah,
and
you know,
fun places.
for breakfast you go into the Happy Deli cafe. There's a place called Passion Pie that opened up next to my friends who own Dust and Glitter. And as much as I make cakes, I'm more in love with pie, and their pie is crazy delicious. And there's a new place called Latitude. Oh, I can't think of the full name of it. There's a new Asian restaurant down there called Latitude, and I think it's the address on there. Oh, shame on me. But it's supposed to be great Asian
It's
food.
a small town.
It is. The Sierra website that we'll show at the end will always take you to any of those places.
Sure.
So,
and the golf course is great in Elephant Butte. That's a fabulous course.
It's a great course. You know, and Elephant Butte is. I think
there's
Elephant
still
Butte
water,
is
like
a
I
separate
said.
destination too.
Then there's the lake.
Yeah.
And one of the things I also love about downtown is they have Bullock's Supermarket, which is still that family-owned supermarket.
Right. I remember.
And you go in and you have that interaction with the people that have worked there forever, and that's where the locals do their shopping. But up and down Main Street, there's all kinds of great places. There's one shop called Dust and Glitter, which we have a photo of, that's owned by my friends Sue and Mo, and
Look at that.
they're a wonderful couple. They both have different mediums of art that they work in, and you can always find it in there. And look how cool that storefront is.
And they are full of a lot of art, which you wouldn't really think
Yeah.
about that with TRC. But
You do. You know, there's a huge art community down there. It's really it's grown, and I think there's transplants that have found the place. It started as a healing town because of the thermal springs, but I think it's more of a healing town because people go there, and it's a calmer lifestyle full of really fun, eclectic, smart people. And also for the artists, the next photo that we have is Hot Springs Art Supply, which I didn't say the name correctly, but I'm a postcard shopper. They always have the best postcards in there. And it's owned by Ruana and Andrew. Ruana Waldron, her father was a very well-known painter here in New Mexico.
And we have one more shot of it. It looks like an old bar. What is this?
This next place, actually, that's the old Cuchillo bar and hotel, which is, it's in Cuchillo. It's supposed to be haunted. And,
Cool.
And you can do private tours of it.
Obviously, TRC, a good day trip or weekend getaway, and Steve, I wouldn't know anything about this stuff unless you showed us. I appreciate it very much.